we saw, I don't know, we saw a couple of returns. I don't know that we saw anything too exciting with the new dynamic return. Dynamic has a lot of different meanings. Dynamic, some people think of oh, awesome. No, it means change for the most part, but there was nothing that was too exciting there. We did have a long return in Jacksonville. I think one other return in another game that seemed somewhat exciting. I know this is something that you've talked to a lot of people on, and I think you and I are hearing the same thing, which is no one really wants to show anything now. But Mina, I'm to the point where when we get to the regular season, I think there are a bunch of coaches that still aren't going to show anything, and they're going to let other people figure it out.
Yeah. Here's what I found interesting from this weekend, and I'm kind of interested in going forward. So to your point, a lot of teams haven't showed a lot of stuff. And we've been thinking about that from the receiving side, but also from the kicking side. You're seeing teams, this happened in our game, was McVay's approach. We're just kicking it out and saying, let's take the touchback. It's the 30-yard line. And what I found interesting about the first weekend is the average starting position. I saw Michael Lopez put this information out, was, I believe, 28 yards around there, which is up from, I think the average last year in the NFL was 22 and something change. If a touchback goes to the 30, that 2-yard difference of the average, and obviously that's impacted by all the touchbacks too, but I think a lot of coaches will look at that difference being so small and say, yeah, it's not worth the risk in case, they break something off. So what I'm curious to see if the NFL considers moving the touchback to the 35-yard line, perhaps, just to incentivize more actual returns, which is the point of the whole thing.
And I think that's going to happen. Some people have suggested that. Sean Payton, in an open microphone a couple of weeks ago, suggested that as well. I'll pull back the curtain. There was a conference call, a seminar, where people could ask Walton Anderson, head of officiating, some questions that I was on 2 weeks ago. I've lost track of time. And someone brought that up. Hey, Walt, could you see it move to the 35 by the time we get to the regular season? We're talking special teams. I'll say he punted. He didn't say no. He didn't say yes. He gave the standard company line, which is, look, it's a work in progress here and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. But I think there's a slight possibility, maybe more than slight, that yes, that happens. And we do see it on the 35 because, look, they want to see returns. And the numbers, for those who don't know, I have the numbers up here. Let me get them. Last year, it was the lowest rate of return we have ever seen. It was 22.1%. And that's not good for anybody. It is safer, right? You're not getting any returns, but it's not good viewing, and the play is meaningless. They need to find the sweet spot where, A, you get more returns and you bring excitement back to the game, but B, you do it safely. And it is very much a work in progress. But look, Mina and I will both tell you, Mina, you've had these conversations. I know you have. There are a lot of coaches that just go to heck with this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. And on it, but the difference, and we see this all the time in the NFL where the margins are so thin, potentially in the playoffs, potentially in these, games that could decide the division, could be between teams, staffs who take this seriously and ones who don't. Because you're right, absolutely right. There's some coaches who don't want to deal with it. But I've also heard from not just special teams coordinators, but coaches across the league and people who work with them that some teams are excited about it, intrigued by it, and feel like this is an opportunity for them to gain on the margins, the Chiefs being a team that come to mind. And it's like, okay, well, if it's, and they have one of the better special team coordinators in the NFL, and Dave too, but if the Super Bowl, winner is taking this seriously, that, I feel like says something.
Yeah, it does. And I think this will separate the good special teams coaches from just the guys, right?
Yeah.
And show me some creativity.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.